Hi Cancer, welcome to your mid-June 2021 astrology and tarot reading. So Cancer, in case you're wondering, I didn't get the June monthlies up for the first time. I didn't do monthlies in years, but I've decided to do the mid-monthly so that we can get some more astrology to make up for it and some more tarot. The full moon in Cancer video will be going up this week. The full moon in Capricorn video, apologies, for your season. So first and foremost, Cancer, happy birthday. If you do want to book anything with me in terms of astrology or tarot, the email is listed below. That's the only email that will be used. And all the information will be there once you use it. Let's get into your astrology first and foremost as we shuffle. So Cancer, the main thing is that Mars has now moved out of your sign. It is now in your second house. Now, when Mars is in your second house, it gives you a lot of push to be financially successful. That's where your energy goes. And money flows where intention goes. So where you're putting your energy in terms of finance, income, material possessions, you're going to feel a lot more charge there, and this can be good, this can be bad. Mars isn't a benefic, so Mars can sometimes make us overspend. It can make us overwork to get financially free, for example. So it's going to be a loud focus for you in terms of the energy this month. Now, Venus is going to enter the second house for you on the 27th of the month, which means for you there's going to be a lot more ease and flow in those areas with money. With abundance, with financial gifts. Those type of things are quite common when Venus enters the second house. So just bear that in mind. There can be some beautiful flow of energy in terms of money there. If you're really feeling the push, it's likely that your drive is going to result in some financial success for a lot of Cancers. Cancers are, of course, the sign most associated with millionaires, based on the 29 degrees of Cancer, 28, 29 degrees of Cancer if you have it. So that would be if you're born the very end of Cancer in July. So Jupiter is going to retrograde in Pisces just as the Sun enters your sign, meaning Cancer, you're reviewing. Ooh, there could be some interesting messages coming in for you there. Page of Swords. There could be some conversations coming up as well. When there is Jupiter going retrograde in your 9th house, it means you might have to revise some travel plans or some education plans, or potentially, rethinking your philosophy in life, what it is that you're choosing to believe in. And maybe sometimes when Jupiter goes retrograde in your sector of philosophy, because don't forget, Jupiter's very comfortable in the 9th house, you can find then in this moment, Cancer, that you become much closer to the truth. Whatever that means for you, you're kind of getting more clarity actually. But anything's in retrograde, it means that the energy is closer to us. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's muddled the whole time. So Mercury is going to go direct, thank the heavens, in your 12th house. If you've been having funky dreams or unusual pangs of anxiety, maybe you're not someone who's prone to these things. This is more so for Cancer rising. I saw that. The Death card. And the Three of Wands. Interesting. You're definitely going to have to revise some travel plans if you have any. And I also feel for a lot of you that there is a changing of the way you manage your expectations in life. Focusing on what it is that you're expecting. Sometimes, I find when Mercury retrograded through my 12th house back in February, it was actually very intense. I have to say, when Mercury retrogrades to 12th house, this is especially if you're Cancer rising, it's not really something to take lightly. And that's because you've had a lot of intense energy in your 12th house with the solar eclipse. The effects of that are still going on. And you're having your inner patterns, your inner thoughts, your innermost feelings, the things that you can keep buried, Cancer, are sort of being pushed to the surface. So in order to manage these changes that are coming up, you're sort of changing what you're expecting in life, because you can become more aware of what you're really expecting. Now, that might sound a little bit strange, but what I mean what you're really expecting is that I think a lot of you are possibly not aware of how much you've been carrying. See this Ten of Swords? And the 12th house is kind of like, it's not something to trip you up necessarily. It's sometimes because if you think about it, our subconscious mind is 90% of our mind. We're not really aware of 90% of our thoughts. They're more based on experiences. It's more your body talking to you. So when you get a feeling of a sickly stomach or anxiety about something. It's your body talking to you about something. It's your body giving you a memory. It's your body giving you maybe even an intuitive hit. It's your body letting you know what's really going on below the surface. So you should listen to it. But with Mercury retrograde there, a lot of the time it's so that we can undo those patterns. We can fix them. We can work through them. We can change them. Eight of Swords. And for a lot of you as well, the 12th house, what I wanted to say is that it's not to trip you up. It's just to clear some stuff out of your mind before you proceed into the next glittery, sparkly phase. Eight of Swords, Two of Cups. Isn't that lovely? There's the Nine of Swords, there's the Fool, and there's the Four of Wands. Very, very nice indeed. So really, Cancer, what's going on in your mind in terms of fear is not at all what's coming for you. That's the one way the 12th house does trip you up, I have to say, is that it can make all this stuff that happened before seem like it's happening again, or that it's going to happen again. And the reason that it can feel very like that, Cancer, if you're experiencing fears of the future and you're very focused on worst case scenario, the reason it can feel that way is because at the time of experiencing something that was traumatic for you, you might not have been able to process it. Maybe you were busy, maybe you were moving, maybe you had kids to look after, maybe you had a job to tend to, and maybe some of you just rushed into another relationship if it was a relationship thing and you didn't deal with it at the time. And it doesn't matter that you feel like you've moved on in cases. Sometimes your body can store it. And this is what happens when 12th house transits come along, and particularly in Mercury retrograde, because what's Mercury? Mercury is the mind. Okay, so here we have Nine of Swords. Now, why is this in the helpful position? Because you're dealing with this stuff. If you're having funky dreams, journal them. They're not premonitions if they're nightmares. They're looking at your inner subconscious mind, what's going on beneath, what's actually hurting you, what still hurts you, what you're actually carrying beneath that beautiful shell of yours, and how it's blocking your new beginnings, your new exciting beginnings. If you're dating somebody and you're hoping that it's going to go somewhere serious, around the full moon in Capricorn, it very well might, right? Four of Wands here as your outcome. Happy relationships, happy home, happy family, celebrations, parties, graduations, christenings, birthdays, probably yours, because you are a Cancer. So these are beautiful, warm, fuzzy energies. And then there's the dragonfly. If you're not aware of the dragonfly in spiritual symbolism, it's kind of when you transcend something. So when you've had the dragonfly begins in the water and then takes to the air. So you can exist in both. And I know that you're a water sign, so you're comfortable in the water. But in terms of perspective, Cancer, it would amaze you that when you are a water sun or a water rising, you often find that because the air signs rule your water houses, you can sometimes find that your mental health suffers because of trapped emotions that you haven't been able to process, because we don't necessarily live in a water sign friendly world. I have to put that out there. The way that it's been built, I guess, or the social connotations of it isn't really wildly suitable. I don't think the schooling system in particular is suitable for water sign people. So you might have experienced that yourself. But what I'm seeing for you, Cancer, is that beautiful connections, especially around that full moon in Capricorn, that is in your partnership sector on the 24th. The cards are giving that a beautiful big yes. They're giving you a solid foundation to build. Sometimes with full moons, we can become very aware of what's actually going on. And for a lot of you that are hoping for a relationship because you've been single for a long time, or you're hoping to reconnect with a partner, or you're hoping to meet somebody, or you're hoping to hear from somebody, this looks really promising. I have to say, that's a really beautiful setup. I think the Four of Wands, don't underestimate it ever just because it's a Wands card in terms of connections. It usually comes up for people you can build something very solid with. And that full moon in Capricorn on the 24th for you, Cancer, is in harmony with Jupiter in Pisces. For you, your relationships could be with someone who is actually unfailingly optimistic, Or it could be someone who speaks a different language, they're from a different culture. They could be someone who's very learned, could be a teacher, could be somebody who has some interesting perspectives on life, wants to talk about philosophy, wants to travel a lot. They could be someone who is very they love trying different types of foods, new foods. They're not shy of experiencing life. And I think for some of you that are dating somebody new or interested in someone, there's a hesitancy there because maybe they look like an ex that hurt you very much, or maybe they have the same name, or maybe they have the same birthday, or something like this. In general, for you though, if you're in a relationship and you're settled, it could move to another stage with that full moon in Capricorn. That's completely likely, because that is your partnership sector, and it is getting support, of course. So one of the other reasons I'm sort of seeing that for you, Cancer, is because the ruler of that full moon, Saturn, is actually going to be trining the true node, and the true node's going through your 12th house, which is leading you with healing, leading you with psychic awareness, religion, looking into new ways of living, new ways of engaging with the world, asking you to lead with your spiritual gifts and your healing and things like that. But the 12th house can also be where we meet our soulmate. It frequently gets misconstrued because the 12th house is hidden enemies, but we don't realize that the hidden enemy comes within. It's us. It's usually what's going on within us and what we're carrying. For some of you, trying Reiki healing would be really beneficial for you. Reiki healing would be very beneficial for you. For some of you, it's a pregnancy. For some of you, it is I just see the world was the next card there. So I'm going to keep that because that makes a lot of sense with the graduations, the completions, and then there's justice. So that can be marriage. This can be, marriage, graduations, new job, celebration, new member of the family, getting a birth certificate. Some of you are getting visas to travel to see somebody that you love. Some of you are meeting someone from a long distance. Some of you are in a long distance relationship. This is really beautiful. I feel like that full moon in Capricorn for you, Cancer, is going to be fantastic. I really do. And, Neptune's going to go retrograde. Venus is going to enter Leo. In terms of travel, I feel like if you're revising travel plans, they're going to work out for the best. There's some sort of divine timing. There's some sort of karmic element involved to this. And as well as that, actually, I want to bring up with you, Cancer, that the Saturn-Uranus square that's going on at the moment, which is your 8th house respectively, with your Taurus is your 11th house. So the square going on there could have you leaving behind some sort of groups. It could have you leaving a job, leaving a network, leaving a particular friendship behind. And, these things aren't easy for Cancerian people. So if that is the case, just know that this is working out to unite you with your soul tribe, people that are much better fitting for you. I do feel a hesitancy in terms of what's new at the moment for you, or the new beginning, or can we change this? Yes, you can. Okay, so let's have a little look and see what your oracle cards are. Ooh, Archangel Michael, and walking away, and envy. Haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potate. Okay, so envy and walking away. And this is an interesting one, Cancer, I have to say, for you. So Archangel Michael, I remember learning from my Reiki healer. She's just brilliant. She taught me about Archangel Michael. And you see the way he's holding this sword. Maybe some of you are aware of this, maybe some of you aren't. For those of you that aren't, he holds a sword so he can cut cords that are negatively impacting you. So when you're really, when you're sort of, I use this as an example, 9 of Swords, when you're laying in bed and you just remember something that somebody did to you that was really unfair or really uncool, and you're angry at them, or someone like an ex keeps popping up in your dreams or something, you call upon Archangel Michael to cut that cord, to sever that energetic cord. I think for a lot of you, because Cancer risings as well, Cancers and Cancer risings usually have this I think it is there's something enviable, especially about Cancer risings, but there's something enviable about Cancerian energy. And I think it's because we're taught to hate the feminine. But you can find yourself, especially if you're female, surrounded by people that are envious of you. And I think for a lot of you, that Saturn-Uranus square might have revealed some people that were, I suppose, quote unquote, haters. So a lot of you are walking away from people or shutting the door on people from the past. A lot of you are forgiving people from the past just to free yourself, just to let something go. Just to be free, just to be peaceful in the moment. So that's something that's really going to benefit you, especially in terms of all the good energy that's coming to you, because this is a beautiful hand. This is a really beautiful hand. Celebrations, success, accomplishments, unity, signing papers, signing contracts, which you can do when Mercury goes direct. Feeling in charge, feeling accomplished, feeling like things are being handled fairly. If you're in a family situation where you're going to court on something, hopefully you're not, but if you are in that situation, this is going to go well for you and your family, if that's something that you need to know. There is, I have to say, for a lot of you that are looking for love, there does seem to be something that could really go the distance, something that even for some of you, and obviously this won't be the case for everybody, but a full moon in Capricorn that's aspecting Jupiter in a positive way can be a sign of marriage. Meeting the person you're meant to marry, that type of thing. Not forgetting that Venus is actually going to be in your sign right up until the 27th of June, Cancer. So love seems to be indicated here. We're going to go into the extended and get more into who that could be. If you're interested in a fire sign, earth sign, air sign, or a water sign, they'll all be picked up in the extended video, same as we just clarify all the cards and go more in depth into the astrology. If you want to join me there, the Vimeo extendeds are what support the channel. So if you do purchase one, thank you so much. I'm eternally grateful. So I hope you have a beautiful remainder of June, Cancer. Happy birthday again, and I'll talk to you in extended. Bye.